When should someone start investing?
As young as they can. My kids are investing and they're in their teens. They're risk adverse at this stage.
Okay.
So they play with small money that we can afford to.
Do you think they can keep up with the AI and automation in the 60s?
Yes. In terms of what they need to do in their 60s or 50s, it is not really that difficult because the tools have gotten really good.
How old were you when that triggered or rather inspired you?
I guess it was my 30s.
So what's the best investment decisions you've ever made?
The best investment decision was to invest in myself, in training. I envisioned that we'll build a community of investors and traders.
Welcome to the SME Stories podcast, where we explore the journeys of business owners who are making a real difference. Now, I'm your host, Has, and today we're speaking to Mr. Goh Wah Kiat, who is a financial expert with over 20 years of experience. Now, he's launching a venture that aims not only to empower retail investors, but also revolutionize how we think about trading through AI and automation. Now, today's conversation is something that you wouldn't want to miss, whether you're an experienced investor or just starting out the financial journey. So, hi, Wah Kiat, welcome. And you had a long career in finance, and that's really an impressive career. And now you've started out your own venture to focus on retail investors. So tell us, what inspired you to make this change?
Thank you, Hess, for having me. After spending more than 20 years in the financial industry, working for some of the big names like GIC and LSEG,
Wow.
I felt that there was a gap in the retail industry. Right, retail investors needed more tools because they needed to keep up with the fast pace of the markets. AIworker strives to change that. AI and automation has actually transformed a lot of the industries out there. And I realized that these same tools could actually help retail investors in their trading and make more informed and better strategies. And helping and democratizing trading is something that I want to help our investors.
Wow, you said something really interesting. Helping and democratizing. Tell me more about that.
In trading, right, in the old days, people used to trade calling their brokers through the phone. And these days, you just use your mobile app and you could actually trade using the phone, right? But behind that, there is some more than that. More tools out there that will actually help you determine when's the best time to get in, when's the best time to get out. And these tools are actually available for retail these days.
Wow. Okay, so can you just tell us a little bit more about retail? What does retail investors mean?
In the market, there are many participants.
Okay.
Retail refers to anyone like us who cannot really move the market. Everyone is actually retail except for the banks, the big funds that can actually move markets and market makers.
Wow, thank you for that education. I mean, it's really basic, but I hope that some of the viewers out there will begin to understand when you talk about retailers, investors, right? Is that the terminology? It basically means like everyone that who's not moving the market. Thank you so much. Love that education. All right, so it takes a lot of courage, to leave something so stable and for you to step down into the unknown. So how did you handle the doubts and the fears that came with such a big decision to start aiworker.sg?
Yes, it's indeed a big change to give up six-figure salary to venture into this. But I know there are people out there that I need to help. There are people who are faced with so much disinformation that I need to give some advice to, and I'm planning to give, and I want to give, authentic education and innovative tools to my students. And keeping that in mind has actually helped me proceed with this plan.
When you said that, it just brings energy into the heart space, because you said something like you want to help and there are people that you need to help. right, that needs help.
Right.
Can you give us some examples that got you into this path of thinking that there are people who needs help?
Job security and retirement is
Okay.
actually quite common these days. So these people actually need some help in planning their financial future.
Absolutely.
Right? They need a second stream of income.
Mm.
And trading is actually a very good way to supplement your income.
Very nicely said. Yes, job security and also retirement.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So, was there a specific moment when you knew that this was the right path for you?
When AI came about, when generative AI came about, I knew something is going to change, something big is going to happen.
Okay.
And I see that 10 days work has become 3 days work with generative AI.
Okay.
And it has actually transformed many industries.
Mm-hmm.
And being privileged to be in IT, finance, as well as AI, at that point in time, I knew I could do this full time to help improve the lives of people through financial literacy as well as technology.
Wow. So you were in IT, finance, and AI
Yes.
concurrently throughout your career.
AI was the last few years, but IT and finance was most of it.
Wow, amazing. So that means you are going to use all that you have learned into this business to help others.
Yes.
Wow, that's really wonderful to hear. So you've learned a lot in your career, right? So what are the key lessons that you're going to start using to make sure that your business thrive? Because if you thrive, others will thrive.
Yes. So there are two big lessons that I learned from my employers. The first one is risk management. There's a saying that look after the downside and the upside will look after itself.
Okay.
And it's trading is very risky, so you need to make sure that you do whatever you can to manage that risk. 2, value. I was a consultant, and we need to give more value to the customers than what they're paying us, so that they'll come back. So those are the two big lessons.
Risk management and value. Fantastic. Okay, so AI is changing how we do things in many, many industries, right? So how do you see it impacting trading, and what should investors be ready for?
AI is going to revolutionize and change trading from idea generation all the way to execution and performance evaluation. AI could actually learn and get better and better over time, right? So as investors, we need to be aware of the technologies that are there and to utilize and leverage on these technologies.
So I'm just curious, right? Because right now, the whole industry has been so disrupted by AI. Educators need to learn how to use AI. Yes. Investors, traders all need to use this. How do you see this AI education? How are you going to bring forth this education through aiworker.sg?
I'm going to create some training packages to give people a good grounding on trading, what's trading, as well as how you should approach trading, as well as to provide the tools when they join my membership, so that they can use these tools to automate their trading.
All right, so you not only educate, you also provide them with tools.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so what's your advice, all right, for someone who just started out in investing?
For beginners or people who are just starting out, my best advice would be to get yourself educated. You need to understand and to hone your skills if you want to be good in this area.
Maybe you can just share one or two things about the kind of education that they can receive from you, because you mentioned you need to be educated, right?
Yes.
So what are some of the key points that they need to be educated about?
You need to know trading psychology, mindset.
Wow.
That's a very important aspect, because that actually determines whether you will win or fail in this venture. I'll also be teaching entry, exits, and different strategies that you can use for the various markets.
Now, what about experienced investors, right? So how can they take their strategy to the next level with automation?
As experienced investors, you probably have a strategy that actually works. Next logical step would be to automate that and to see how we can actually leverage. Because, for example, if you have a strategy that works for, let's say, 5 instruments or 5 securities, we could actually increase that coverage, and you could do it for 10, 20, or even more through technology.
Wow, that's really exciting. Now, I'm curious, can you share a real life example where AI or automation has made a big difference for an investor?
I'll use my own example.
Okay.
Right? I used to trade manually and in the US market. I'll put in the trade and I'll watch the trade overnight. So my wife said, you shouldn't be trading at night. It's not good for health, right? So I had to come up with this automation in order to solve that problem.
So what I'm hearing is interesting. So wife says no more trading because it's late, it's not good for your health. So you started and created this automation.
Yes.
Okay, so does that mean that you are the creator of this automation program, or do you use another platform?
I use platforms and I customize my strategies on top of those platforms.
Ah, all right. And are these strategies uniquely yours, or is it available as well?
Oh, actually, the strategies can be found anywhere.
Okay.
Right? On the internet, you can just go look for it. But for strategies that can actually make money, you have to put in a lot of effort to find the gems.
Ah, and that's where you are the gem master.
Yes, you need to work and find get the machines to work a lot in order to find the gems.
I see, and it takes someone with experience.
Yes.
You know, it was interesting. So just last night, I was listening to this talk by a very famous host. And this is something that he said that just reminded me and resonated to what you say. He says if he was going to speak to a 20-something and 30 plus to 60, late 30s to 60, about the power of AI tools and everything, he would rather work with the older ones. You know why? He said because the younger ones would jump in and they're really great, but it's the older ones who say, you know, I have this idea, but I could never get this down to doing that. So they really know specifically how to, you know, how they can solve problems and gaps because of the experience.
Right.
And that's where I can see that it's very relatable because of your wealth of experience. And that's where people would definitely want to check you out because of your years of experience with major companies, financial institutions, and also AI and IT. Right? What a great combination. Okay, so let's have some fun. Okay, so let's share with viewers one fun fact about trading that most people don't know.
In fact, I'll give 2 fun facts.
Okay.
Right. The first one is that the more you trade as a human, your performance will actually go down.
Okay.
You actually lose more money the more you trade.
Okay, wait, let me get this right. The more you trade as a human, the more you will lose money.
Yes. Because humans get tired.
Okay.
And your decision-making skills will deprove as you trade.
Okay, so that's interesting. All right, so is that why sometimes the market is volatile?
The market is volatile because people want it to be volatile. We have machines, algo that's designed to move the market so that the retail investors actually get trapped and pay tuition fee.
Ooh, oops. Is that a secret that you've just shared?
Right. So it's if you look at the industry, most of the news and media is designed to get you to trade more.
Yeah. Okay, so this is great. So that means if you do not spend so much time and you allow this AI worker to work for you, so you will not actually be sucked into this I trade more because the
Yes.
robot will stop you from doing that.
Right. the robot is not greedy.
Oh.
If I were to trade, I'm always greedy. Then I'll just
That is so interesting.
yeah. I'm a bad trader compared to my robots.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I think that's, to me, that really tickled my brain and got me to think, maybe investing is not so bad, because for those who feel that, it's not for them, so maybe it's a good one for them to learn. And especially for you, you're starting all these with a viewpoint of educating others, right? First. Fantastic. Okay, so
Can
the
I,
other... Yes.
talk about the second
Yes,
fun
please.
fact. The second fun fact is that the humans take a few seconds to make that decision, and the machine takes a microsecond or a millisecond, which means that 1,000th of a second and 1 millionth of a second to make that decision. So you can see the difference in speed.
And speed matters because?
So, given speed matters because you can make a lot of money if you're very fast.
If you're very fast. Amazing. So very exciting. But I'm just curious, I mean, like AI, humans make mistakes. Will there be technological mistakes that AI can potentially make as well?
Yes. AI can also make mistakes. But not in the sense that the humans make, because AI will just follow whatever rules that you tell it to do, right? Whereas human kind of mistakes are more emotional and more human based. So operationally, the machine seldom make any logical mistakes. It's more technology. For example, the platform may fail, the network may fail, and that your infrastructure may just go down one day. Yeah. So you actually need backups for whatever you do.
Backups. All right. So that will be the backup, the health. The health check of AI would be the backups.
You really need, a second pair of everything.
Wow, that's very interesting. Wow, I'm learning so much from you. Thank you so much. And let's now talk about something that's very close to my heart, psychology of trading. Because it's not just about numbers, isn't it? Right? You mentioned it's really about having the right mindset. So how does psychology play a role in trading success?
So psychology and mindset is very important in trading. You have to find a strategy that aligns with what your personality, as well as your risk tolerance. For example, if you were to trade, if you are okay with losing $100 versus $1 million, if I give you $1 million, you won't make a good decision.
Okay.
But if I give you $100, I'm sure you can make a very good decision because you will not be scared of making a bad decision.
Okay, so you mentioned two things, right? Personality, and the other one was your tolerance.
Risk tolerance.
Risk tolerance. So just now you explained about risk tolerance. Can you explain a bit more about personality?
Yes. For personality, it really depends on whether you are someone who wants to go for the big gains, right? You're not afraid of losing any money in order to get those big home runs. Or
I see.
You don't want to lose any money, and you're okay with not making money, much money, just small money, but you don't want to lose any money. So it really depends on your personality.
That's interesting. So will you be having like some kind of a personality test, tolerance test before when someone learns from you? Is that something that you're going to do?
Yes. So we will have a trading plan, as well as and part of the trading plan would actually dive into your personality. We'll actually customize the trading according to what you are, to your personality. Yes.
Wow. Interesting. I'm learning so much here today. Thank you once again. So before we wrap up, you have created great resources, okay? Like you have your free trading indicator cheat sheet and your membership program. Can you share more about these to the viewers?
Right. The cheat sheets are on indicators where you can actually use and it's actually very easy to read and to set, so that you can actually see whether you can actually use these indicators in your trading. The other thing is the programs. For programs, we actually have from basic, we'll teach you the ropes, and from how to trade. You don't actually need to come with trading prior experience. We'll teach you how to trade, how to make money, how not to lose too much money, all the way to options, how to buy or sell options, the strategies involved, and after that we actually have automation as the next step.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So if let's say a very busy person who has, let's say, some money, all right. Okay. Let's give a number to that some money. How much must they have in order for them to go through this process successfully? Because I think a lot of viewers will be curious.
Right. Okay. It really depends on how much you want to make. It's how much you want to make determines how much you should put in.
Okay.
Right. So assume that you want to make 5%, 10% of X amount.
Okay.
Right. So first figure out what's that 10% first, then work out the capital.
I see. Okay. And you will be guiding them
Yes.
through all these process as well.
Yes. So for example, if you have a strategy, for example, and this strategy, maximum loss for each strategy is $500.
Okay.
So you need to at least have $1,500 buffer in order to execute such a strategy. So all this will be actually taught in the course, so that you actually calculate everything, so that you have enough buffer in your trading, so that you're able to operate
Interesting.
Profitably.
Very interesting. Something just came to my mind. When people learn this, right, do you recommend, let's say, newlyweds to come in together, to learn together?
Yes. Trading is financial literacy, and trading and investments are life skills. I believe that
I like that.
you need to have financial literacy, so that you can plan ahead for your family, for your retirement, for your kids.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I like that you mentioned that it's like a life skill. Nobody has said that I know of. You know, financial literacy, yes, but life skill, because I think last year there was a talk, and one of the speakers mentioned that financial literacy should be something that the youth should be focusing on, right? So let's go back to what we talked about. When should someone start investing?
As young as they can.
And how young is young?
My kids are investing, and they're in their teens.
Wow. And do they see results?
Yes, they are risk adverse at this stage.
Okay.
So they play with small money that we can afford to.
Wow. At teens, at what age, what stage of the teenage years? Early teens? 18.
That's because that's the age where you can get an account.
18. So that means as young as 18. That's very interesting. So that means it's also good to do like parent-child type of
Yes.
learning strategies together. It is a life skill.
It is a life skill. In the old days, I think, or these days, the rich will actually send their kids on financial courses.
Yes.
So it is an important skill for people to learn.
That's very interesting, because now when I work with youth, many of them are doing side hustle.
Yes.
Side hustle to have additional income, just to upkeep, to save. This would be another good strategy for them to actually consider and working together.
Yes.
You know, together with the parents, and also for retirement, as you mentioned, these are the people that also need to learn all these things. I have a curious question for you. When they are retiring, let's say a 50-something, 60-something, do you think they can keep up with the AI and automation in the 60s?
Yes. So, in terms of what they need to do
Mm-hmm.
in their 60s or 50s, it is not really that difficult because the tools have gotten really good. In the old days, we had to figure out how to read a chart. These days, AI could tell you, and you don't even have to learn how to read that chart.
Interesting. So you are confident that you don't need to be like advanced AI literacy level
No,
before going
you
into
don't
this.
need to learn how to code. You don't need to be AI genius in order to use it.
Wow. Very fascinating conversation we're having here. I hope the viewers out there are listening a lot and learning a lot while I am. So now let's have some fun. We're going to do some quick rapid fire questions. Okay? So that we get to know the man behind aiworker.sg. So what's the best investment decisions you've ever made?
The best investment decision was to invest in myself, in training, and getting into technology and finance.
Wow. Okay. So I'm just curious, what made you get into finance and then technology?
Finance was because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay.
I'm not sure whether you've read that.
Of course, yes. It's a book that is like, it's like in your face.
Yeah.
You better know it, right? Yes, so it's a great book. Yeah, okay,
Right.
so tell me about the book. What part of the book made you think about that?
Right. So the book had a part where they actually said that you don't want to just work in the 4 quadrants. You don't just want to work in a job. You want to create a business. You want to be an investor. And that's where I think I'm moving out from the job phase into something else.
Okay. And how old were you when that triggered or rather inspired you?
I guess it was my 30s.
In your 30s. Fantastic. Okay. So what's the worst financial advice you've ever heard? And please be honest and brutal if you
Yes.
have to.
So the worst financial advice was people telling me, just buy this stock. It's going to make money 100%. And there's no such thing as 100%.
Oh, oops. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as 100%. The broker can tell you that this stock is going to go up. He may be right 7 times out of 10, but you could just follow it. It may be that 3 out of 10 that he's wrong. So
Okay. So never listen to anyone who says it's 100%.
right,
Because there's no such thing.
there's no such thing.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, knowing what you know today, what would it be?
And that would be to invest earlier.
Invest earlier and you can start at 18.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I started at 18.
You did?
Yes.
Wow, you started at 18. And at that time, were you in NS or?
Yes, I was in NS.
Wow, and that inspired you to go into finance?
Not really, but that was my starting point. I encountered Klopp like everyone else.
Okay.
And I had shares down there that lost all their value.
Wow.
So that was my learning experience.
Wow, and who were your mentors then?
My mentors were my parents at the time. They were very good mentors in the sense that they make sure that you trade responsibly and don't risk more than what you can take.
I see, but yet you face losses.
I faced losses not because of them, but because of the Malaysia.
Ah, can you share? Is it something
So
that
so
you
what
can share?
happened
Yeah.
is that there was this system called Klopp at that point
Club.
in time,
Okay.
and the Malaysians said that all the shares that you had in there were illegal, so they froze everything. And that was during the Asian financial crisis, and whatever shares you had were frozen at that
Wow.
point in time.
Okay, and that time you're just one of the victims who didn't know about all this.
So we couldn't get our money out
Mhm.
until much later, a few years down the road, and some of the companies actually went belly up. during that
Wow.
time.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, okay, here's another question. How do you relax after a long day of work?
For the kind of trading I do, as you can see, I don't actually have to do the hard work. The machines are doing the hard work. So all I do is to evaluate whether the machines are doing the work properly.
Okay, so right now we are giving the power to the machines, giving because that means you would have to program them, right? What kind of state of mind must you have while you were programming? What's your psychology? Because you're human, right? Could you ever be in a state where you're not in an empowered state, that you may not be programming the AI worker
No,
effectively?
So the kind of work that I do is actually very data driven. It has nothing to do with me. It's all, the machines will actually be tested against history. Let's say I want to test it across the year 2000 when COVID happened.
Okay.
And the machines would perform regardless of how I feel. So it is really data driven. There's no human. I don't have to be happy or sad or it's not me, it's a machine.
It's a machine, but you need to be clear about what you are researching on.
You need to be very clear that the machine is actually doing what you want.
Okay, interesting. And all these you will learn the skills with your course.
Right.
Okay, fantastic. So as you look into the future, right, what legacy do you want to leave with this venture?
I want to build a brand that is well known for financial education as well as AI solutions.
Financial education and AI solutions. Can you share with us a little bit more? Tell us more about the financial education. What's your vision for that?
I envision that we'll build a community of investors and traders in this, using the data-driven approach. And this group of traders would be able to exchange ideas and help each other along in their trading journey.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So thank you so much, Wah Kiat, for sharing your journey and your knowledge and your experience that is so rich. Is there anything else that you want to share where the viewers, you would like to share and the viewers would like to know about?
I'd like to invite the viewers to actually visit aiworker.sg. If there are any questions or any suggestions or things that they want that's not on my website, feel free to reach out and I will actually reply, and perhaps we could even create a course on what you want.
Wow, so you're really listening to the viewers, not just doing whatever you think is right, but you're there to also invite the viewers. So please check out aiworker.sg, and if you find that there's something that you want to have and maybe pick a little bit more from Wah Kiat's brain and experience, do connect with him as well. Be a part of the community and learn together. So to our listeners, don't forget to check out the free resources as well. Remember, success in trading and life is not just about having having knowledge. It's also about having the right tools and the right mindset that aiworker.sg is providing and making a difference in people's lives, having you take control of your financial futures. So thank you so much, Wah Kiat, for being here. And until next time, let's stay motivated.
Thank you.
Thank you.